Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Cuppa with Craig. I'm that guy, Craig, and I'm going to talk about Unite the Kingdom. Am I giving up? That's what the thumbnail says, but maybe not. So, yeah, as I said in the first episode, this is just me unscripted, chatting about things that are going on because it's nice to have a little bit of space to breathe and just have a little bit of a conversation. So, here we are. I'm going to have a cup of tea. Arm yourself with a cup of tea if you want as well. Coffee, also acceptable. It's the 19th of May. It's raining outside. It's quite cozy in here, to be fair. I work from home, so got a little bit of time just to fire off a quick video. So that's what I'm going to do. Have a bit of a chat, get some stuff off my chest. Because I tell you what, United Kingdom this weekend was a disgrace. It's as simple as that, right? It's as simple as that. I've said it. But I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get into all the ins and outs of it because there's a lot to dissect from it all. I don't really know where to start with it, to be honest. I think maybe a good place is to start with what was said about it, right? How was it framed? Who, the organizers, the people attending, the social media, like the content creators who all went along and were saying, well, it was just this, it was just that. What were they saying? What did they say about it? And then maybe we'll touch on what the reality of it was. I think that's probably a good way to sort of try and dissect what was going on. Because there was obviously some massive hypocrisies between what was said and what was actually done. Yeah, like I said, we'll get onto that. And then maybe we'll talk a little bit about the response from the left. There was obviously a counter demonstration as well. A pro-Palestine march and a counter demonstration. Yeah, so we'll touch on that a little bit because I've got some thoughts on that. I might get some criticism from people who would say they are in my camp on what I thought about our response. But anyway, let's kick off with what Tommy Robinson's army was saying, what his pals were saying. It seems like there's a bit of a click. I mean, it's all quite obvious there's a click, to be fair. You've got Tommy Robinson, who's obviously the main guy who's organizing all this stuff. In fact, I've just realized, should I actually be saying his name in a YouTube video? I feel like maybe it's one of those phrases that gets like picked up on and gets banned. You know what I mean? But well, we're going with it anyway. We've started. We'll continue. But we'll just call him Tommy from now, or Stephen, because that's obviously his real name, Stephen Yaxley Lennon. Tommy 10 names. Not really sure why he changed his name. It's interesting though. Maybe that's something we need to look into because it's always a little bit strange when people change their names, especially when you're sort of organizer like what he is. But yeah, his crew, his army, they were all out there. It was just a march about Britain. It was a unity march, a march for pride, a march for patriotism. That's all it was. Like that's what they were setting it up as, this thing. And because obviously this isn't the first iteration. This has been going on for a while. And I think it was just interesting to see how all of the content creators around him were saying, oh, we get called racists, we get called far-right agitators, we get called thugs. And it's interesting, right? Because what they try and do is they'll take what someone said. Let's take Keir Starmer, for example. I'm pretty sure at no point did he call everyone attending that rally a far-right thug. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I may be wrong. Fact check us on that if you want. I'm pretty sure he takes aim at the organizers. And that's similar to what I do. Like, at no point do I look at every single person who was on that rally or on that march and think, you're the problem. You're the problem. Because I see it as something totally different. I see it as the people organizing it are the puppet masters, and the people following it are the puppets. That's how I see it. And to a certain extent, even the same with the content creators. You know what I mean? The people who are sort of in his wake to a certain extent. I think you're being taken for a ride. I don't think they actually realize what they're following. I did a video on it yesterday for Instagram and TikTok and that. And it just seems to me that it's like a continuation of, well, it's been going on for years. It's fascism, really, to a certain extent, where we blame, because people don't actually know what I'm going on tangents here, but it's interesting, right? Because I don't think people really know what fascism is. I think people think about fascism and they imagine, rightly so, the guy with the tash, and brown shirts and going on the streets and cracking skulls and stuff like that, stormtroopers. But it's not just that. That is an example of fascism, and that's fascism taking hold and what it looks like maybe in its end game. But it's a journey, It's not this thing where someone could be a fascist and not necessarily be on the streets. You know, I think there's a difference. You don't just have to go immediately to that guy with the tash. It's, to me, at least my understanding of fascism is that it's about capitalizing on struggle in a country, which is exactly where we are right now. We're in a state of struggle. They keep banging on about broken Britain and all these sorts of things. Are we fully broken? I mean, if we are, I feel like we can definitely be fixed with the right sort of policies, but that's one for another day. I think when it comes to fascism, it's about taking that struggle, blaming it on a certain group, a certain demographic, and we know who's being blamed now. We know who that guy with the tash blamed. And sort of almost calling it like a national rebirth. And that's what we're talking about with a lot of these people, lots of these organizers. And I don't quite think people understand that, who follow these people. I don't think they realize what they're actually following at times. Because it seems obvious to me, right, that I'll hold my hands up. I think there's massive problems with immigration in this country. I think there's huge problems. I don't want to see people crossing boats to get into the country. I don't, because A, it's dangerous for them, and B, right, yeah, it's difficult to control. It is difficult to control. So you know what you do? Open up safe, legal routes for people to come into the country where they can be processed properly. And if they're not entitled to asylum, yes, that's fair enough. They're not supposed to be in the country. Like, leave. But if they're entitled to asylum, we should treat them with respect and dignity like we would with anybody else. And I think we should pride ourselves on that. And we shouldn't be scapegoating asylum seekers and refugees in this country. That's not what we should be doing. And that's exactly what this rally is about. And it straddles scapegoating Islam and refugees and asylum seekers all at the same time. And like this thing about they're attacking our women and children, they're attacking our women and children, right? I haven't seen any statistics to say that someone from those backgrounds, it's always anecdotal. It is always anecdotal. They'll promote the hell out of one incident. They'll see something pop up on the news. Someone's been abused. Someone's been assaulted. Awful, horrendous, right? It's a horrendous situation. But they are very, very quick to amplify those stories and not the fact that, a woman every 3 days is murdered by their partner or ex-partner in the UK. Domestic femicide in the UK is rife. Where's that conversation? Because from where I'm sitting, it's disrespectful to the victims of abuse from white British men to just focus on the ones that, like, what is it? Do you think the victims of abuse take comfort in the fact that their abuser was white and British? What are we talking about? And look, I'll hold my hands up, right? If we get to a point where there's hard statistics and facts, right, around these and this isn't going to be the case, by the way, but there's hard statistics around people from certain demographics are X amount more likely to abuse somebody. All right. But guess what? That isn't the case. It isn't the case. And look, right, go back to Southport. I'm sure it was, in fact, I'll look it up if you don't mind me typing in the background. But there was a lot of people who were arrested. Domestic violence. A lot of people who were arrested in Southport. There you go. And this is the thing. If you operate on statistics, you get a lot better picture of what's going on. But 2 in 5 arrests from the Southport riots had been reported for domestic abuse. 2 in 5 arrests. Quick maths, that's 20%. No, sorry, not quick maths, 20%. That's 40%. 40% of the people who were arrested at Southport had records of domestic abuse. And they were the people campaigning for, against violence against women and children. So what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? Just a few weeks ago, there was a story that got promoted the hell out of. It was maybe somewhere in Essex that someone in a hotel had abused someone. It was a completely fabricated story. In fact, from what I gathered, again, I feel like there was a woman on a night out. A really weird story, actually. I never actually got to the bottom of it. Long story short, though, they were attacking this house, which I thought was a HMO, and a riot kicked off, and there was no crime committed. We were just desperate to blame these people. So yeah, I mean, oh God, honestly, there's so many different threads. But my point here is, right, we need to be going off statistics. We need to be going off statistics and not anecdotes, right? And not individual stories. Because if we do that, if there was a news channel just for the amount of abuse that was perpetrated by white British men, it would be a 24-hour news channel reporting on a different story every half an hour, probably. Look, that's me. That isn't a stat. That isn't a particular stat. But you know what I mean? There's so many crimes, so much abuse, so many victims of abuse in this country. To only promote the ones that are perpetrated by an asylum seeker or an immigrant is just wrong. And it is offensive to victims of abuse. I'm telling you now, it is wrong. But to go back to the United Kingdom rally, that's exactly what these people are doing, right? It's exactly what they're doing. Sorry, I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but so though that my point was originally was that the organizers of this event and the followers I see as two very different things. And I think, to be honest, it's dangerous to call all of the followers of these rallies like fascists, and I think they're tricked into being racist a lot of the time. And maybe I'm giving these people too much credit here. But I just think if you start to cut these people off, and you can't talk for everybody. I think generalization in general is really dangerous. It's the same on the other side with the pro-Palestine marches, to just label everybody an anti-Semite who goes on these marches. It's just not true. There'll be examples of it amongst, and it's the same with the United Kingdom. There'll be lots of people who are following that who were there to celebrate the UK, because that's what they were being told. That's what they were being told it was for. But then when you get there, when you arrive, and this was back to my original point, right? It was all being framed it was being framed by the organizers it was just about patriotism. It's just about patriotism. But if that was the case, when we turned up, I wasn't there, obviously. When they turn up, why is there 3 French women in hijabs? I think they were hijabs, full face covering, getting booed, and literally just mocking Muslim women and shouting, "Take them off! Take them off!" What part of that is about celebrating Britain? That doesn't. Those two things don't add up to me. So, yeah, weird one that. And then there was obviously, I mean, we'll get on to the culture aspects of it. The musicians, my God, horrendous. But there's an interesting point to make on that. Yeah, where was I? And then there was a gentleman, I think he was some Scottish bloke. Anyway, playing a fiddle or a violin or whatever he was doing, throwing bacon over his shoulders. We're talking about grown men here. And if you don't understand the relevance there, it's because people of the Muslim faith don't eat bacon. So what part of that is patriotism? What part of that is about celebrating British culture? Do you need to throw bacon over your shoulders and play? Is that something that what we're talking about? Like, what is the problem here? Because I've never been told I can't eat a bacon sandwich. I bloody love one, right? I work with Muslim people. Nobody's ever gone, well, don't be eating that bacon in front of me, mind. It's nonsense. It's a pure nonsense. Culture war bullshit. Like, we're celebrating that, as if that's some sort of patriotic situation. You've got women on stage shouting about getting Islam out of every single office, every single political office in the UK. What's that got to do with patriotism? Why can't a politician practice Islam? Is that really what are we talking about here? you know. And this is the thing, it goes back to it. It was not about patriotism, right? They tried their absolute best to frame it as that, to pose it as that, but it wasn't. It wasn't that. It was anti-Islam, anti-immigration march. I don't care how many people are, you know, there was so much talk about how much violence there was or how much disruption. You always, and how many people there as well. Quite frankly, I couldn't care less. People on the left are always going to say there was less than what the people on the right. It was probably somewhere in the middle. It wasn't as big as the first one, that's for sure. But the point should be taken that there was still a lot of people there. You know, there was a lot of people there celebrating, following this Mr. Robinson, Stephen actually Lennon. So yeah, that's, you know, so that was my first point really, was that like, it was, the way it was framed was very different to what was on display. And it's a shame really. I find it upsetting, man, because, you know, that's not British culture. That's not, we're just taking the opportunity. Like, the struggle's real. Like, people are skint. There's real problems. The government's skint. Public services. Like, I was in hospital the other day. Everyone's fine, but, you know, went through A&E, and like, the wait was like 8-9 hours in A&E. Luckily, I wasn't in that one. I was in the pediatric bit. I mean, I was still in there for a long time. You know, and it's like, you go through there, it's packed, it's busy, people are waiting, like, it's chaos in there. And that's why people are angry, and get that. But what we're blaming immigrants for that? You know, it's like, you go through there, and I live in the northeast, right? And it's and I know what people are going to say, because, oh, well, yeah, you live in the northeast, it's not a very diverse place, you don't need to live near them. Well, it's funny that, right? Because if anything, that just strengthens my argument, because people are voting reform and following Tommy in the northeast, right? And it's not a very diverse area in my local areas anyway, right? So what are they angry about? Because they're still angry. People are still angry, and they're not living in a diverse area. It's because people are angry about being skint. People are angry about not having good job quality. People are angry about energy bills. People are angry about, you know, 9-hour waits in A&E. That's what people are angry about. But, you know, for some reason, we're choosing to blame 0.5% of our budget is spent on asylum and refugees. So why is that? Why is that what we're blaming? It's madness. It's madness, man. I would love to see Tommy Robinson engaging with organisations like Rape Crisis. If we're genuinely concerned about the safety of our women and children, Rape Crisis do unbelievable work. They've got some amazing, like, the research that they've done, like, the vast majority. In fact, let's pull it up, right? Because I want to make sure that I'm getting the right information across here. Because this is important, right? And this is what you don't get from certain content creators. They'll talk about specific incidents, and here it is, right? I've just pulled it up now. 1 in 4 women. This is awful. 1 in 4 women have been raped or sexually assaulted since the age of 16. That's a quarter of the women in the UK have been raped or sexually assaulted basically since they became an adult. It's absolute madness, man. And here's the bits, right, where you won't hear this from people, content creators on the right, because it totally blows apart their the narrative of women and children, the risk to women and children being some asylum seeker or immigrant hid in a bush somewhere or in a park. But 2 in 5 rapes against women are carried out by their partner or ex-partner. And 6 in 7 women are raped. Sorry, 6 in 7 women aren't raped. 6 in 7 rapes against women are done by someone they know. So what do you think about that? 6 in 7 of the rapes committed are perpetrated by someone that the victim knew. And we're still sticking to this thing that it's all asylum seekers and immigrants. Why aren't we engaging with this? Why? I mean, go and look for yourself, right? It's Rape Crisis. Look at their website, look at the stats, look at the research that they've done. Because if you care about this stuff, if you're watching this video and you're disagreeing with everything I'm saying and you love Tommy Robinson, go and look at that, look at the statistics, look at the information, which is it's not an organization set up by some loony lefties. It's an organization set up to specifically support women and children that are victims of abuse, right? So go there, go and get your information from there, not Tommy Robertson on X. Don't go onto Twitter and see what asylum seekers done that day. Go and get the actual information and come back. But people don't do it because they don't want to know. So yeah, that was that anyway. That was how it was all framed. I can't remember what the next bit I was going to go on to. But it's just like, it was just sad to see, you know, sad to see. I mean, the people in, this is the thing as well, man. I always knew some of the footage coming out. The early footage was always going to be, oh, look, because this is where they had the control. The early footage was always going to be, oh, look, brilliant. There's a guy playing bagpipes and look at us all marching down the street and there's flags and stuff. Do you know what it is? I'm a patriotic person. I love the flag. I was in the RAF, you know, joined up when I was 16. Joined up when I was 16, actually went in when I was 17. I was a teenager. I was a young lad. I loved it, right? I've met the best mates to this day. Best man at my wedding was from the RAF. And, you know, I love it. England football, all these, you know, all of it. History. I think there's some things in British history that probably shouldn't be particularly proud of. But I think when it comes to British identity, it contributes to who I am. So I'm proud of it, right? And I'll have that conversation with anybody. More than happy. If someone tells me I shouldn't be proud to be British, I'll tell them exactly why I'm proud. I think we've contributed a lot. It's like saying, it's a similar thing to saying, like, right, if someone's German, they shouldn't be proud to be German because of their history, or Japanese shouldn't be proud to be Japanese because of their history. I don't think that we should take responsibility. I don't think that we should have to shoulder the burden for things that happened hundreds of years before we were born, and feel shame for that. You know, I'm happy to talk about reparations for things like, you know, the slave trade and stuff. I think there's definitely some balancing to be done there, because culturally there's still some issues. But I don't think I should carry shame for that personally. But again, you see, this is the thing. This is the people on the right will love to say that I'm ashamed to be British and that I'm, you know, it's not true. I did a video going and taking some flags down in my local town. They were literally, I mean, they're behind us somewhere. Well, whatever. But they were literally torn in half. There was half of them left. I got called a traitor, got called all sorts, paedophile. I mean, what were we talking about? But it really rubbed people up in the wrong way. But I was driving past those flags all the time, driving to my parents' house, and I was looking at them, and they were literally, there was cable tied to a lamppost and left there for a year. They were left there for a year, torn in half, right? So I went up, I got my ladders, went up and took them down. Made a video about it. We should have more respect for our flags. There's flags up in town squares all across the country. I love it. Great. Love to see it. Because they're maintained and they're looked after. People take them down, they get replaced. Cable tying them to lampposts, these razor colours lot are absolute muppets. They need to have more respect. They're buying hundreds and thousands of flags made in China that'll just get cable tied all over the shop, and it'll get to the winter and they end up tattered rags, and we're staring at our national flags being used for that, and it's just to send a message. It's the wrong message. But anyway, I've digressed again. But yeah, the people that were on the march, man. So the first videos that went out were like, yeah, it's all great, you know, seeing the flags and all that sort of stuff. But then, you know, later on, you start to see it all unfold. You start to see all the different bits and pieces, you know, some left-wing interviewers going in and getting abuse, and, you know, the anti-immigration stuff, the anti-Islam stuff. It was always going to be there, but they just try to hide it at first. And then I seen some footage today of some right-wing influencer going and like perving on a 15-year-old girl who was with her mother and being like, oh, God, you're going to get me in trouble, love. Oh, she's lovely. Like, you know? But this is the thing, right? This is the thing. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that's what everybody who was there was like. Of course not. Of course not. Some bad actors, some bad individuals in amongst. And I think, again, like I said, it's dangerous to try and conflate the two things. Because what I want is to be able to have conversations with the people there who are just misled and misguided. You know what? Angry for the right reasons, but pointing that anger in the wrong directions, which is in the direction of Muslims and immigrants and asylum seekers, refugees, whatever you want to, you know, however you want to package it. So yeah, Madness, man. It's just sad to see. And I'm just hoping that we'll get there eventually, and we can put up some proper counters to this. And that leads me on actually quite nicely to what the final thing I want to talk about, and that was the counter demonstration. Looked like it was great turnout. Great to see people doing it, and I appreciate it. I'm up in Northumberland. Didn't go down for it, I'll be totally honest. I think if I was closer, I would. That's just an effort thing on my part. Maybe I'm lazy. Maybe I should have been there. But the thing that I want to sort of open up, I'm going to throw it out there because this is what I've been feeling about it, is that I worry that by packaging it, the counter demonstration, as a pro-Palestine march, that you're weakening the two things. I think they should be separate. I think there should be a counter demonstration that is just an anti-fascist march or an anti-Tommy Robinson march, or whatever it is, pro-immigration, whatever you want to call it, and have the Palestine marches, which are incredibly important. But I just worry by doing the two together at the same time. And look, maybe this is the thing, I'm open to the conversation. I'm intrigued. If people have got thoughts watching this, let me know. But I just worry that by doing the two at the same time, you're giving people who were on the Tommy Robinson march the opportunity to go, look at all those Palestine flags. It makes it about UK versus Palestine in a way, because you've got the UK flags, they're the patriots, and then you've got the people who don't care about Britain, in quotation marks, only caring about Palestine. And that's not the case, because I guarantee there's a whole load of patriots who are at that pro-Palestine march who care about that country. And I think I just worry that it by conflating the two, you're weakening both. And I just don't know. And this isn't me saying I want the pro-Palestine marches to stop. No chance. Keep campaigning on it. Keep campaigning on it until we're not involved. Simple as that. And things in conditions improve, and there's a proper ceasefire, and people like Netanyahu get their comeuppance because they should. But I'd love to just see just a pure counter demonstration. You know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see a counter demonstration with a load of Union Jacks in it. That's what I'd love to see, and say, this is our flag, this is our country, not yours. Come across, join the real patriots, because they're here. And reclaiming what that means. That's what we need to do, is reclaim what it means to be a patriot. So yeah, what else have I got going? My cup of tea's getting cold now. I did 10 minutes on Friday, nearly half an hour now, but probably it'll be interesting, right? Ramblings of a madman, this really, but I'm just putting my thoughts out there. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to dissect when it comes to these big events. It's just that sad to see, because I feel like as a country we've got so much more to offer than send them home. Stop the boats. Yeah, stop the boats. I agree. Stop the boats. Let's get them in legally. Let's get the people working. Let's not get them locked away in hotels for years and years at a time, because that's where problems arise as well. Get these people contributing to society. In fact, here's an anecdote to finish, right? My local town, there's a young Syrian lad. I think he lost his father during the Assad regime. Lost his home, lost everything. His mother and his sister got out to, I can't remember where it was, a UN camp somewhere, and ended up moving to my local town. And he was fantastic, lovely young lad. He would be in the town square over the winter, cooking chestnuts, sweet chestnuts, and amazing. He had his little bike and he'd freshly roast them. And just a lovely, pleasant lad, contributing to culture as well, because people would go down. It was down by the harbour. They'd go and buy his chestnuts, have a chat with him and stuff. And he lost everything. He lost not everything. He had his mother and his sister, but he lost his dad. He lost his house. And he was doing that. He was doing the chestnuts because that's what his dad did in Syria. And now I believe, because I actually looked this up the other day, because he hadn't been down there for a while, he's away doing business at college. He's away learning. And no doubt eventually he'll be a really good contribution to the economy. But we don't see that, do we? We don't want to talk about that, because we've got examples of bad ones, and so we can just label them all as bad ones. But there we go. So yeah, that was it. That was another episode of Cuppa with Craig. I hope you all enjoyed it. Lots of thoughts there. I only planned on doing about 10 minutes. I've done half an hour. So let me know. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you've got a question, anything. And this is the thing. Everything that I say, I'm open to conversations. I'm not married to my ideas. I feel like the moment we stop wanting to learn and stop wanting to have conversations and changing our opinions, that's when things get seriously in a seriously bad place. So yeah, drop a comment. If you haven't subscribed, drop us a subscribe as well. Even if you don't like what I'm saying, have the conversation. Let's have a chat. Drop a comment. All right. Subscribe. Let me know. And I'll see you in the next one. Definitely put one on Friday. I'm thinking maybe it's once or twice a week, maybe 3 times. We'll see. See how much time I get to put these on. So yeah, nice one. See you all later. Like, follow, subscribe, share, do all the good things. See you later.